Elvis is a new musical biopic about, well, what else? Elvis. And I gotta say, I went into this movie with a suspicious mind, but by the end of it, it didn't leave me wanting to go to Heartbreak Hotel. It made me want to Jailhouse Rock. Alright, let's get into this movie. So I was kind of excited about this movie, kind of not. Also, if you didn't see this week, I posted a review of an Elvis movie. Um, because in anticipation for this movie, I am a big Elvis fan, so I did want to talk about something Elvis related on the channel before I went into this movie. And yeah, I watched it and I really liked it, but I think we need to talk about how I will kind of my expectations going into it. They were low, just to be honest. There are very few good musical biopics in the world. And there's some I like for sure, but majority of musical biopics are not good movies in their own right. But nevertheless, I kind of went into this movie. A lot of people were more interested in it because of the director, uh, Baz Luhrmann. I forget how you say his name. And yeah, I can understand that. But here's the thing. I watched only one of his films, which was Moulin Rouge. Watched it in high school in theater class. Didn't really understand it nor like it, though it's a movie that if I probably watched now, I would probably really like, but I just didn't because, well, we were just told to take notes on this very strange, odd movie that I didn't really understand the point and why we were taking notes on it. So, yeah, it was an interesting movie, but I didn't quite like it, to be honest. Um, So going into this movie, I didn't really know what to feel. I thought the trailers for this movie were quite bad, especially Tom Hanks in the trailers. And to my shock, this is a great movie. Not just great for like musical biopic standards, but just a great movie. And I think why that is because there's the flaws of normal biopics where the years pass and it's hard to tell, did a week pass or did actual freaking years pass? Like, it's hard to tell what the timeline of things were unless you actually know the timeline of real life. Um, it does feel like they ignore a lot of things that in real life are messed up. Um, like from Elvis's past and other things like that. But those are normal things with musical biopics. But I think they're more excusable in a movie like this because even though the fucking title of this movie is Elvis, this is not an Elvis movie whatsoever. This is a movie about Tom Hanks as the Colonel and how he took this man, gave him everything, but destroyed him and killed him in the process. And that's not really a spoiler because you know Elvis is gonna die. He died in real life for crying out loud. So, but that's what's really interesting about this movie. It starts with him narrating it. It ends with him narrating it. And so, yes, Elvis is a big part of this movie, but it's not an Elvis movie. It's the Colonel's movie. And that was such an interesting take that was very unique. I think, and Austin Butler as this character, as Elvis. Well, I say not really character, person, obviously, but as this Elvis person he has to play, he's freaking phenomenal because there were legit points. I couldn't tell if it was actual Elvis's singing or like his singing, and I couldn't tell if it was Elvis actual recordings of Elvis talking or it was him talking. It was very hard to tell, and when they show real footage of Elvis in parts of the movie, I was like losing my mind. I'm like, wait, that and this? I mean, just blew my mind. It was phenomenal. This man, I think, depending on how the rest of the year goes, should be an Oscar winner for this performance. This is one of the best performances I've ever freaking seen in a musical biopic. I think it's better than Joaquin Phoenix in Walk the Line. I think it's better than Val Kilmer in The Doors. freaking phenomenal. And this, I think, is better than Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury. This is just a phenomenal performance. I will say this movie's not perfect. I didn't like the first act, like very much. It wasn't horrible first act, but it does have that thing I don't like about Moulin Rouge, where it's very hyperactive, very over edited. But I think once the movie gets going and the movie slows down, it becomes this powerhouse of emotions, of this story of this man who was broken by another man who just took advantage of a man that just wanted to provide for his family and do the things that he loves, and it kind of what that means, and how that broke him. This movie was fantastic. I don't know how Elvis fans are going to react to it because it is not an Elvis movie. I think some people might be angry or in the very least disappointed or frustrated. But I think it's great because, I mean, it's better than normal musical boring biopic where they rose to fame and then they fall. I mean, that's kind of what this movie does too, but it not being about Elvis himself makes the movie 1,000 times better. And I think it's just phenomenal filmmaking, and I just cannot wait to see what people's reactions.